Starseed. Something unusual is happening right now. Across the planet, thousands of awakened souls are feeling the same signal. A sudden urgency. A feeling that something is about to shift in love. The Arcturian Council calls this moment heart activation through sacred reclamation. I am Cerealis, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. This is a direct transmission about your divine counterpart, offered to you now, in this exact moment of your soul's readiness. Before we go deeper, the longing you feel is not weakness. It is proof that your heart knows what it is meant for. Listen closely, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally reshape how you understand love itself. For years, perhaps lifetimes, you have been told that love requires endless availability, that to be truly open to connection, you must be indiscriminately welcoming to anyone who shows interest, that your capacity to give, to forgive, to absorb the emotional chaos of others is somehow a measure of your spiritual evolution. You have been taught that boundaries are cold, that saying no is selfish, that your worth is quantified by how much you can sacrifice without ever truly receiving in return. This is a lie, a beautiful, seductive, soul-crushing lie, and this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The universe does not measure your readiness for sacred union by your capacity to endure emotional chaos. It measures it by your willingness to protect the sacred vessel of your being. Your divine counterpart is not searching for someone who will abandon themselves. They are searching for someone who has learned to love themselves so fiercely, so uncompromisingly, that their entire energetic field radiates the frequency of self-worth. Right now, in this very moment, your soul is ready to understand something that will change everything. Your absence from the wrong connections is not a loss. It is the catalyst for the arrival of the right one. When you stop being available to confusion, mixed signals, and half-hearted pursuit, you create a vacuum that only divine love can fill. The universe abhors emptiness. It rushes to fill the spaces you consciously clear with precisely what your heart has been longing for across dimensions and lifetimes. What comes next is the part most souls in separation are never told, and it explains everything. Your divine counterpart is not waiting for you to become more accommodating. They are not hoping you will lower your standards further or accept less than your soul deserves. On the contrary, they are calibrated to find you when you are standing in the full radiance of your own power. When your energetic field is no longer broadcasting the frequency of desperation, but the undeniable presence of self-love. This transmission is an invitation to reclaim that power, to understand that every boundary you establish is not a rejection of love, but the most profound act of love you can perform, not only for yourself, but for the divine counterpart whose soul has been waiting across the veil for you to remember your worth. The distance between you and your divine counterpart is not abandonment. It is frequency preparation. Your soul chose this moment. Your soul chose this transmission, and your soul is ready to rise. The ache you carry right now, that persistent, sometimes unbearable longing for someone you cannot seem to let go of, the confusion about why love feels so difficult, the fear that perhaps you are simply unlovable. This is not a wound that needs to be hidden or transcended in silence. This is a signal, a cosmic broadcast from your highest self, transmitted through the language of your heart. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. In the three-dimensional reality where you currently walk, separation feels like loss. It feels like failure. It feels like proof that something is fundamentally wrong with you, that you are not enough, that love is something that happens to other people, but not to you. The narrative is so pervasive, so deeply embedded in your consciousness, that you have likely internalized it as absolute truth. But the Arcturians want you to understand something that will liberate you from this prison of misunderstanding. What you are experiencing is not separation. It is dimensional recalibration. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom and foresight, has orchestrated this exact experience as a necessary phase in your journey toward sacred union. The person you long for, the divine counterpart whose essence your soul remembers, is not lost to you. They are not gone. They are not rejecting you. What is actually occurring is far more profound and far more purposeful than your three-dimensional mind can currently perceive. Imagine for a moment that you and your divine counterpart are two radio frequencies. For lifetimes, perhaps, you have been broadcasting at slightly different frequencies, creating interference, static, moments of connection interrupted by periods of confusion. The universe, in its perfect design, has now orchestrated a period of dimensional distance, not to separate you permanently, but to allow both of you to recalibrate to the exact same frequency. This is not punishment. This is preparation. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. During this period of dimensional distance, your soul is undergoing a profound energetic recalibration. Every moment of longing you feel is not wasted emotion. It is fuel. It is the universe's way of showing you exactly where your energy has been fragmented, where your boundaries have been compromised, where you have abandoned yourself in the name of love. Your divine counterpart is simultaneously undergoing their own recalibration, their own awakening to the frequency of sacred union. The Arcturian understanding of love is radically different from what you have been taught. In the Arcturian dimensional framework, true love is not about proximity. It is not about constant contact or reassurance, or the ability to fix another person's emotional landscape. True love is about frequency alignment. It is about two souls rising to such a level of individual wholeness, individual self-love, and individual integrity that when they finally meet, the union is not a desperate grasping for completion, but a conscious, deliberate, and radiant choice to amplify each other's light. This is what your soul is preparing you for. This is what the separation is actually about. Many souls on the awakening path make a critical error. They interpret the pain of separation as a sign that something has gone wrong, that they have failed, that they need to do more, try harder, reach out more desperately. They exhaust themselves attempting to bridge a gap that was never meant to be bridged through effort. The universe is not asking you to chase. The universe is asking you to rise. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The dimensional recalibration you are experiencing is specifically designed to strip away every false belief you have carried about love. It is designed to reveal to you, with unmistakable clarity, every pattern of self-abandonment, every moment you have compromised your truth, every instance you have made yourself smaller to fit into someone else's comfort zone. This is not cruelty. This is mercy. This is the universe's way of saying, I love you too much to let you continue this pattern. I am going to show you, through the mirror of this separation, exactly what needs to heal within you. Your divine counterpart is experiencing their own version of this revelation. They too are being shown their patterns, their wounds, their places of misalignment. When both of you have completed this dimensional recalibration, when both of you have risen to the frequency of authentic self-love and sacred integrity, the reunion will not be a desperate scramble. It will be a recognition, a homecoming, a moment where two whole beings, standing in their full power, consciously choose to create something sacred together. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that this separation is temporary, but its purpose is eternal. It is reshaping the very foundation of how you relate to love, to yourself, and to the possibility of sacred union. Every tear you cry during this time is not wasted. Every moment of longing is not pointless. You are being refined. You are being elevated. You are being prepared to receive and embody a love so pure, so reciprocal, so divinely aligned that your current self can barely imagine its depth. There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. They are not waiting passively for you to fix yourself. They are not sitting in stasis, frozen in time, hoping you will eventually become worthy of their love. They are actively, consciously, and with equal intensity undergoing their own transformation. They are being shown their own patterns. They are being refined by the same cosmic fire that is refining you. The separation is not one-sided. It is a mutual recalibration, orchestrated by forces far greater than either of you, designed to bring you both to the exact frequency where union becomes not just possible, but inevitable. This is the first revelation of the Arcturian transmission. The separation you are experiencing is not a failure of love. It is love in its most sophisticated, most purposeful form. It is the universe saying, I care about you too much to let you settle for anything less than the sacred, reciprocal, divinely aligned love that is your birthright. One of the deepest sources of pain during separation is the fear that your divine counterpart has moved on, that they no longer think of you, that they have forgotten the connection you shared, that perhaps they never felt it as deeply as you did. This fear is so pervasive, so emotionally devastating, that many souls in separation construct elaborate narratives to explain it. They never really loved me. They found someone else. They are happy without me. I was just a chapter in their story, not the entire book. These narratives are born from the three-dimensional perspective, where absence equals indifference, where silence equals forgetting, where distance equals the end of love. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. The truth is far more profound and far more beautiful than your wounded heart can currently perceive. Your divine counterpart is not indifferent to you. They are not moving forward as though you never existed. What is actually occurring is that they are experiencing their own version of the dimensional recalibration you are undergoing. They are feeling the same pull toward you. They are experiencing the same inexplicable longing. They are, at this very moment, being shown their own patterns of self-abandonment, their own places where they have compromised their truth, their own wounds that need healing before sacred union can manifest. The Arcturian understanding of the divine counterpart connection is that it operates on a frequency that transcends three-dimensional time and space. When two souls are truly aligned at the level of divine counterpart connection, they are eternally linked through what the Arcturians call the soul resonance field. This is not a metaphor. This is an actual energetic phenomenon. No matter the physical distance, no matter the period of separation, no matter the silence or the apparent disconnection, the two souls remain in constant energetic communication. Your divine counterpart is feeling your longing, not in a way that requires them to consciously think about you, but in a way that operates at the level of their energetic field. They are experiencing subtle shifts in their own frequency that they may not yet understand. They may feel inexplicable moments of sadness without knowing why. They may experience sudden waves of recognition or remembrance. They may find themselves drawn to certain songs, certain places, certain moments that hold the frequency of your connection. These are not coincidences. These are the soul resonance field at work. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. What makes this period of separation so challenging is that your divine counterpart is likely undergoing their own awakening process, their own confrontation with the patterns and wounds that have kept them from being ready for sacred union. If they are not yet consciously aware of the Arcturian teachings, they may interpret these energetic signals as confusion, as lingering attachment to the past, as something they need to overcome, rather than something they need to understand. This is why the separation is so essential. Your divine counterpart needs this time to awaken to their own worth, to their own capacity for self-love, to their own need for sacred boundaries. They need to be shown, through their own experience, that they cannot continue the patterns of the past. They need to understand that true love requires them to stand in their own power, to honor their own truth, to refuse to settle for anything less than sacred reciprocity. During this time, your divine counterpart may be experiencing what feels like a complete unraveling. Relationships that no longer serve them may be falling away. Situations that kept them distracted from their true path may be dissolving. They may be feeling a deep, inexplicable call to something greater, something more authentic, something that their soul knows, but their conscious mind has not yet fully grasped. This is the universe preparing them for reunion with you, and this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that your divine counterpart is not rejecting you by going through this process. They are preparing for you. Every moment they spend in solitude is a moment they are learning to love themselves. Every relationship they release is space they are clearing for you. Every pattern they confront is a barrier they are removing to authentic union with you. There is a profound cosmic principle at work here. Souls can only meet at the frequency they have individually attained. Your divine counterpart cannot arrive at a higher frequency than the one they have consciously embodied. They cannot suddenly become someone who honors sacred boundaries if they have not yet done the internal work to understand why boundaries matter. They cannot become someone who loves you with the purity and reciprocity your soul deserves if they have not first learned to love themselves with that same purity and reciprocity. This is not a failure on their part. This is the exact process that must occur for true sacred union to become possible. Many souls in separation torture themselves with questions. Are they thinking of me? Do they still love me? Will they come back? These questions, while deeply human and understandable, keep you anchored in the three-dimensional framework of doubt and uncertainty. The Arcturian perspective invites you to shift your focus entirely. Instead of asking whether your divine counterpart is thinking of you, ask yourself, am I becoming the person who can receive and sustain the love they are preparing to give me? Instead of wondering whether they still love you, ask, am I learning to love myself in the way that will allow me to recognize and honor their love when it arrives? Instead of hoping they will come back, ask, am I rising to the frequency where reunion becomes inevitable? There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. Your divine counterpart is not waiting for you to change them. They are not hoping you will rescue them or heal them or complete them. What they are actually waiting for is for you to become so whole, so self-loving, so energetically sovereign that when you finally stand before them, they will have no choice but to rise to meet you. Your wholeness is their invitation. Your self-love is their permission. Your sacred boundaries are their blueprint for how to love you. The separation you are experiencing is a mutual initiation. Both of you are being refined in the fires of your own awakening. Both of you are being shown, with unmistakable clarity, what must change within you for sacred union to manifest. And when both of you have completed this initiation, when both of you have risen to the frequency of authentic self-love and divine integrity, the reunion will not be a desperate grasping. It will be a conscious, deliberate, and radiant choice to create something sacred together. Your divine counterpart is feeling you. They are being called toward you, even if they do not yet understand why. Trust this. Trust that the universe is orchestrating their awakening just as it is orchestrating yours. Trust that when the time is right, when both of you have completed your individual recalibration, the reunion will occur with a grace and inevitability that will make every moment of separation feel like a necessary and beautiful part of your love story. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. You are ready to understand something that most spiritual teachings dance around, but rarely address with the clarity it deserves. The reunion with your divine counterpart is not being prevented by external circumstances. It is not being blocked by timing, by distance, by other people, or by the complexity of the three-dimensional world. The reunion is being prevented by energetic blocks within your own consciousness, your own energy field, and your own embodied beliefs about what you deserve and what love is capable of being. This is not blame. This is empowerment. Because if the block is within you, then the solution is also within you. The Arcturian understanding of energetic blocks is that they are not punishments or signs of spiritual failure. They are protective mechanisms that your soul has constructed, often in response to ancient wounds. These blocks were created with the best of intentions, to keep you safe, to prevent further pain, to protect you from the devastation of loss. But what once protected you is now imprisoning you. What once kept you safe is now keeping you separated from the love your soul is ready to receive. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The primary energetic block preventing reunion with your divine counterpart is what the Arcturians call the unworthiness frequency. This is a deep, often unconscious belief that you are somehow not deserving of the love you long for. It manifests in countless ways. I am too broken. I have made too many mistakes. I am not attractive enough, successful enough, spiritually evolved enough. I don't deserve someone who truly sees me and honors me. Love like that doesn't happen for people like me. This unworthiness frequency is insidious because it operates beneath your conscious awareness. You may consciously affirm that you deserve love. You may consciously know, intellectually, that you are worthy. But at the energetic level, at the level where your soul communicates with the universe, you are broadcasting a different message. You are saying, I am not sure I deserve this. I am not sure I can handle this. I am not sure I am worthy of being truly loved. Your divine counterpart, operating at the frequency of sacred union, cannot meet you at this frequency. They are calibrated to find someone who knows, with absolute certainty, that they are worthy of being loved. Not in an arrogant way, but in a grounded, embodied way. Someone who has done the internal work to understand that their worth is not contingent on their performance, their appearance, their achievements, or anyone else's validation. The second major energetic block is what the Arcturians call the abandonment wound. This is a deep, often ancient fear that if you truly open your heart, if you truly allow yourself to be vulnerable, if you truly let someone see all of you, they will leave. This wound often originates in childhood, in moments where a caregiver was emotionally unavailable, physically absent, or conditionally loving. But for many souls, this wound extends back through multiple lifetimes, carrying the memory of times when expressing your authentic self led to rejection, ostracism, or loss. The abandonment wound creates a paradoxical pattern. You desperately long for connection, yet you unconsciously sabotage it. You attract people who confirm your deepest fear, that you will be abandoned. You create situations where you are abandoned so that you can prove to yourself that your fear was justified. You remain in relationships that are clearly misaligned because the familiar pain of abandonment feels safer than the unknown risk of true love. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. Your divine counterpart cannot enter a relationship with someone who is still operating from the abandonment wound, not because they don't love you, but because the frequency of the abandonment wound is incompatible with the frequency of sacred union. Sacred union requires a fundamental trust that you will not be abandoned, a deep knowing that you are safe to be fully yourself, a certainty that the other person has chosen you and will continue to choose you, not out of obligation or fear, but out of authentic love and alignment. The third major energetic block is what the Arcturians call the self-abandonment pattern. This is the tendency to leave yourself before anyone else can leave you. It manifests as chronic people-pleasing, as the inability to say no, as the habit of making yourself smaller to fit into someone else's comfort zone, as the practice of abandoning your own needs, desires, and boundaries in service of keeping the peace or maintaining the connection. When you operate from the self-abandonment pattern, you are broadcasting a frequency that says, I am not important. My needs don't matter. I will sacrifice myself to keep you. Please don't leave me. This frequency is deeply unattractive to your divine counterpart, not because they are cruel or rejecting, but because they are calibrated to love someone who loves themselves. They cannot respect someone who doesn't respect themselves. They cannot honor someone who doesn't honor themselves. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. The fourth major energetic block is what the Arcturians call the scarcity consciousness. This is the deep belief that love is limited, that there is not enough to go around, that if your divine counterpart loves someone else, there will be nothing left for you. This scarcity consciousness creates obsessive patterns, jealousy, possessiveness, and the constant fear that you will lose what you have. Scarcity consciousness is incompatible with sacred union because sacred union requires the understanding that love is infinite. When two souls meet at the frequency of sacred union, they are not diminished by loving others. They are not threatened by the other person's friendships, family relationships, or spiritual connections. They understand that love multiplies when it is shared, that the more your divine counterpart loves themselves and others, the more capacity they have to love you. The fifth major energetic block is what the Arcturians call the victim consciousness. This is the tendency to see yourself as a victim of circumstances, of other people's choices, of bad timing, of bad luck. Victim consciousness keeps you anchored in powerlessness. It keeps you waiting for someone else to rescue you, to fix your life, to make everything okay. It prevents you from taking responsibility for your own healing, your own growth, your own frequency elevation. Your divine counterpart is not looking for someone to rescue. They are looking for a conscious co-creator, someone who understands that they have the power to shape their own reality, to heal their own wounds, to elevate their own frequency. When you operate from victim consciousness, you are broadcasting the frequency of powerlessness. Your divine counterpart, operating at the frequency of sacred union, cannot meet you there. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that these energetic blocks are not permanent. They are not character flaws. They are not proof that you are broken or unlovable. They are simply patterns of consciousness that were created in response to pain, and they can be consciously dissolved through awareness, intention, and consistent energetic practice. The reunion with your divine counterpart will occur precisely when you have cleared these blocks to a sufficient degree that you are broadcasting the frequency of sacred union. This does not mean you need to be perfect. It does not mean you need to have healed every wound or transcended every limitation. It means you need to be consciously aware of these blocks, actively working to dissolve them, and committed to the process of your own elevation. There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. Your divine counterpart is experiencing their own version of these blocks. They too carry unworthiness, abandonment wounds, self-abandonment patterns, scarcity consciousness, and victim consciousness. The reunion cannot occur until both of you have cleared these blocks to a sufficient degree. This is not a failure. This is the exact process that must occur for true sacred union to become possible. You are not waiting for them to become perfect. You are both engaged in the sacred work of becoming whole. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Now that you understand the energetic blocks preventing reunion, we move into the most empowering phase of this transmission, the active practice of frequency alignment. This is not passive waiting. This is not hoping that the universe will eventually deliver your divine counterpart. This is conscious, deliberate, and powerful work to elevate your energetic frequency to the exact vibration where reunion becomes inevitable. The Arcturian understanding of frequency alignment is based on a fundamental principle. You can only attract at the frequency you embody. If you are operating at the frequency of unworthiness, you will attract people who confirm your unworthiness. If you are operating at the frequency of abandonment, you will attract people who abandon you. If you are operating at the frequency of self-abandonment, you will attract people who take advantage of your lack of boundaries. The universe is not punishing you. It is simply reflecting back to you the frequency you are broadcasting. To align your frequency for the return of your divine counterpart, you must begin with a practice the Arcturians call conscious energetic inventory. This is not judgment. This is honest, compassionate recognition. You must become aware of every situation, every relationship, every interaction where your energy is being depleted, where you are abandoning yourself, where you are accepting less than your soul deserves. Begin by tuning into your body. Your body is your truest barometer. After every interaction, notice. Do you feel energized or depleted? Do you feel seen or invisible? Do you feel respected or diminished? Your nervous system knows the truth of these exchanges, even when your mind is trying to rationalize or justify them. That ache in your chest, that heaviness in your stomach, that exhaustion in your solar plexus, these are not random sensations. These are your soul speaking directly to you, signaling with unmistakable clarity that the energetic exchange has been imbalanced. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. Once you have identified where your energy is being depleted, the next step is what the Arcturians call conscious energetic withdrawal. This does not mean being cold or rejecting. It means consciously, deliberately, and with loving firmness, withdrawing your precious life force from connections and situations that do not honor your worth. This might look like limiting contact with people who consistently drain you, setting clear boundaries with family members who do not respect your autonomy, ending relationships that are clearly misaligned with your highest good, or simply creating space from people who have not earned the privilege of your energy. As you withdraw your energy from misaligned connections, you will likely experience a period of increased solitude. This is not punishment. This is sacred space creation. This is the universe clearing the field so that your divine counterpart can finally find you. During this period, the most powerful practice you can engage in is what the Arcturians call radical self-love activation. Radical self-love is not vanity. It is not narcissism. It is the conscious, deliberate practice of treating yourself with the same tenderness, respect, and care that you would offer to someone you deeply love. It is saying no to things that do not serve you. It is saying yes to things that nourish your spirit. It is choosing yourself again and again, in small moments and large ones. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. Begin each day with a practice the Arcturians call frequency anchoring. As you awaken, before the demands of the world can press in, take a moment to center yourself and consciously declare your energetic intention. You might say, I am a beacon of self-love and sacred integrity. I naturally and effortlessly attract connections that honor my worth and align with my highest good. I am worthy of being truly seen, deeply respected, and genuinely loved. My divine counterpart is being drawn to my frequency with each moment I choose myself. As you speak these words, feel them in your body. Visualize them as a golden light radiating from your heart center, expanding outward to fill your entire energy field. This is not wishful thinking. This is conscious frequency elevation. You are literally shifting your vibrational output through the power of your intention and your embodied belief. Throughout the day, practice what the Arcturians call boundary activation. Every time you are tempted to say yes when you mean no, pause. Every time you are about to abandon your needs for someone else's comfort, pause. Every time you are about to make yourself smaller to fit into someone else's expectations, pause. In that pause, you have the power to choose differently. In that pause, you have the power to honor yourself. Each time you choose yourself, each time you speak your truth, each time you maintain your boundary despite discomfort or fear, you are sending a powerful signal to the universe. I am worthy. I matter. I will not abandon myself anymore. This signal is received by your divine counterpart at the frequency of their soul. They feel it. They recognize it. They are drawn toward it. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that frequency alignment is not about becoming someone different. It is about becoming more fully yourself. It is about stripping away the false versions of yourself that you have constructed to please others, to avoid abandonment, to prove your worth. It is about returning to the authentic, radiant, sovereign self that you were before the world told you that you were too much, not enough, or somehow unworthy. As you engage in this practice of frequency alignment, you will notice something remarkable beginning to occur. The people in your life will begin to shift. Some will fall away, not because you rejected them, but because they can no longer match your frequency. Others will step up, showing you respect and care that they were not capable of showing before. New people will begin to appear in your life, people who resonate with your elevated frequency, people who see you and honor you. This is not magic. This is the law of attraction operating with absolute precision. You are attracting at the frequency you are broadcasting. As your frequency rises, your attractions shift. As your frequency rises, your divine counterpart becomes increasingly able to perceive you, to find you, to recognize you as the one their soul has been seeking. There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. Your divine counterpart is also engaged in frequency alignment. They too are withdrawing from misaligned connections. They too are practicing radical self-love. They too are setting sacred boundaries. They too are rising to the frequency of sacred union. The reunion is not something that happens to you. It is something you are both consciously creating through the daily practice of honoring yourselves and each other. Every boundary you set is a boundary they will eventually respect. Every moment you choose yourself is a moment you are teaching them how to love you. Every instance you refuse to abandon yourself is an instance you are showing them that you are worthy of being loved. Your frequency alignment is not separate from their frequency alignment. It is part of the same cosmic dance, the same sacred choreography that the universe is orchestrating to bring you together. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. As you continue your practice of frequency alignment, as you continue to clear the energetic blocks and elevate your vibration, the universe will begin to send you signs that reunion is imminent. These signs are not random. They are not coincidences. They are deliberate cosmic communications, messages from the Arcturian Council and from your own higher self, confirming that you are on the right path and that the reunion is drawing near. The first sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call synchronistic acceleration. You will begin to notice an increase in meaningful coincidences. You will think of your divine counterpart and immediately receive a message from them. You will see their name repeatedly in unexpected places. You will hear songs that hold the frequency of your connection. You will encounter people or situations that remind you of them, or that illuminate aspects of your connection that you had not previously understood. These synchronicities are not random. They are the universe's way of confirming that you and your divine counterpart are moving toward alignment. They are signals that your frequencies are beginning to resonate together, that the dimensional distance between you is narrowing, that the reunion is becoming increasingly probable in the quantum field of possibility. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. The second sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call energetic recognition. You will begin to feel your divine counterpart's presence more intensely. You may experience sudden waves of emotion, joy, longing, recognition, without any external trigger. You may feel their energy in your heart space. You may experience moments of profound connection that transcend physical distance. You may have vivid dreams where you are together, where you are communicating at the level of your souls. These experiences are not imagination. They are real energetic phenomena occurring at the level of your soul resonance field. Your divine counterpart is experiencing their own version of these recognitions. They are feeling you. They are being called toward you. The veil between you is thinning. The third sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call internal completion. You will notice that you are no longer desperately seeking your divine counterpart to complete you. You will realize that you have become whole within yourself. You will discover that you no longer need them to validate your worth or to make your life meaningful. This might seem counterintuitive. How can you be ready for reunion if you no longer desperately need them? But this is precisely the frequency at which sacred union becomes possible. When you no longer need your divine counterpart to complete you, you are no longer broadcasting the frequency of desperation. You are broadcasting the frequency of wholeness. You are broadcasting the frequency of someone who is choosing to be in union, not because they are broken without it, but because they consciously desire to amplify their light through sacred partnership. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. The fourth sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call boundary clarity. You will find that you no longer struggle with setting and maintaining boundaries. You will no longer feel guilty for saying no. You will no longer question whether your needs matter. You will simply know, with absolute certainty, what you will and will not accept, and you will communicate this with calm, loving firmness. This boundary clarity is a signal to the universe that you are ready. It is a signal that you have learned the lessons of the separation, that you have healed the wounds that were keeping you fragmented, that you are now capable of being in a relationship with someone who respects your autonomy and honors your truth. The fifth sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call life alignment. You will notice that your external life is beginning to align with your elevated frequency. Opportunities will appear that seemed impossible before. Doors will open that were previously closed. You will find yourself in situations and environments that resonate with your authentic self. Your career, your friendships, your living situation, all of these will begin to reflect the higher frequency you are now embodying. This alignment is not coincidental. It is the universe responding to your frequency shift. As you rise vibrationally, the external world reorganizes itself to match your internal state. Your divine counterpart will appear in this newly aligned life, not as a disruption, but as a natural extension of the higher frequency you are now inhabiting. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. The sixth sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call energetic magnetism. You will notice that people are drawn to you in new ways. You will find yourself attracting attention, respect, and admiration from people you have never met. You will feel a palpable shift in how people respond to your presence. This is not about becoming more physically attractive, though many people do report physical changes as they elevate their frequency. This is about becoming magnetically attractive at the energetic level. Your divine counterpart will feel this magnetic pull. They will find themselves inexplicably drawn toward you, even if they do not yet consciously understand why. They will feel compelled to reach out, to reconnect, to explore the possibility of reunion. This compulsion is not manipulation. It is the soul resonance field pulling them toward their destined counterpart. The seventh sign of imminent reunion is what the Arcturians call fear dissolution. You will notice that the fears that once dominated your consciousness, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, are beginning to dissolve. You will find that you can think about your divine counterpart without the desperate urgency that once accompanied those thoughts. You will be able to imagine reunion without the anxiety and doubt that previously clouded that vision. This fear dissolution is a sign that you have done the internal work. It is a sign that you have healed the wounds that were creating these fears. It is a sign that you are ready to receive love without the distortion of fear. There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. As you experience these signs of imminent reunion, understand that your divine counterpart is simultaneously experiencing their own version of these signs. They are experiencing synchronicities that point toward you. They are feeling your energetic presence. They are becoming whole within themselves. They are clarifying their boundaries. Their life is aligning. They are becoming magnetically attractive. Their fears are dissolving. The reunion is not something that will happen to you. It is something that both of you are consciously creating through the daily practice of honoring yourselves and each other. These signs are confirmations that you are both on the right path, that you are both rising to the frequency of sacred union, that the reunion is no longer a distant possibility, but an imminent inevitability. To truly understand the reunion with your divine counterpart, you must understand the cosmic dance of the divine masculine and divine feminine. This is not about gender. This is about energetic polarities that exist within every soul, regardless of the physical form they inhabit. The divine masculine is the principle of action, clarity, protection, and forward momentum. The divine feminine is the principle of receptivity, intuition, nurturing, and creative flow. In the current state of human consciousness, both the divine masculine and divine feminine have been profoundly distorted. The divine masculine has been corrupted into toxic aggression, domination, and the suppression of emotion. The divine feminine has been corrupted into passive victimhood, self-abandonment, and the suppression of boundaries. Most relationships are formed between two people operating from these distorted polarities, creating patterns of control, resentment, and emotional chaos. Sacred union, however, requires the embodiment of both the healthy divine masculine and the healthy divine feminine within each partner. The healthy divine masculine is clear, protective, consistent, and action-oriented. The healthy divine feminine is intuitive, creative, receptive, and emotionally intelligent. When two souls meet who have both embodied these healthy polarities, the result is a union that is balanced, reciprocal, and profoundly transformative. But what the Arcturians revealed about this separation will change everything you thought you understood about love. Your divine counterpart is undergoing their own process of embodying the healthy divine masculine or feminine, depending on their soul's primary polarity. If your divine counterpart carries the primary divine masculine energy, they are learning to be a protector and provider who respects your autonomy, who honors your intuition, who creates safety through consistency and integrity. If your divine counterpart carries the primary divine feminine energy, they are learning to be a creative, intuitive partner who receives your love without suspicion, who trusts your intentions, who flows with you rather than resisting you. The separation you are experiencing is specifically designed to allow both of you to embody these healthy polarities. Your divine counterpart cannot show up as the healthy divine masculine if they are still operating from patterns of control, manipulation, or emotional unavailability. They cannot show up as the healthy divine feminine if they are still operating from patterns of self-abandonment, neediness, or emotional reactivity. Stay with this, because what the Arcturian Council transmits next activates the deepest layer of your heart's mission. For those of you who carry the primary divine feminine energy, the separation is teaching you to embody the healthy divine feminine. This means learning to receive without suspicion. It means learning to trust your intuition without second-guessing it. It means learning to express your needs and desires without apologizing for them. It means learning to be creative and generative without abandoning yourself in the process. The healthy divine feminine is not passive. She is not weak. She is not waiting for someone to rescue her. The healthy divine feminine is a powerful creative force who knows what she wants, who trusts her intuition, who receives love and abundance with grace, and who creates beauty and meaning in everything she touches. She has boundaries. She has standards. She refuses to settle for less than her soul deserves. When you embody the healthy divine feminine, you become irresistible to the healthy divine masculine. He cannot help but be drawn to you. He recognizes in you the partner he has been seeking, someone who is strong enough to stand in her own power, intuitive enough to understand his deepest needs, creative enough to inspire him, and loving enough to receive his devotion without suspicion. And this is where it becomes different from any love advice you have ever received. For those of you who carry the primary divine masculine energy, the separation is teaching you to embody the healthy divine masculine. This means learning to be clear and decisive without being controlling. It means learning to protect and provide without needing to dominate. It means learning to be emotionally present without being emotionally reactive. It means learning to take action in service of your beloved without expecting gratitude or recognition. The healthy divine masculine is not aggressive. He is not emotionally unavailable. He is not a provider who expects servitude in return. The healthy divine masculine is a protector and creator who knows what he stands for, who takes consistent action toward his goals, who creates safety through his presence, and who loves deeply and steadfastly. He has integrity. He has vision. He refuses to compromise his truth. When you embody the healthy divine masculine, you become irresistible to the healthy divine feminine. She cannot help but be drawn to you. She recognizes in you the partner she has been seeking, someone who is strong enough to hold space for her, clear enough to lead with integrity, consistent enough to create safety, and loving enough to honor her autonomy. There is one more truth about your divine counterpart that almost no transmission has ever addressed directly. The reunion with your divine counterpart is not about finding someone who completes you. It is about two people who have each completed themselves, who have each embodied the healthy divine masculine and feminine within their own consciousness, coming together to create something sacred. It is about the divine masculine recognizing and honoring the divine feminine. It is about the divine feminine recognizing and receiving the divine masculine. It is about two whole beings choosing to amplify each other's light. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that this is the purpose of the separation. It is not to keep you apart. It is to prepare both of you to meet at the frequency of sacred union. When your divine counterpart finally arrives, they will not be arriving to fix you or complete you. They will be arriving to stand beside you, to honor you, to create with you, to love you in a way that reflects the love you have learned to give yourself. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light. When you share this transmission, you are not simply passing along information. You are becoming a beacon yourself. You are amplifying the frequency of love on this planet. You are participating in the collective awakening that is occurring right now. The comment section is your sacred space. Share your truth. Share your experience. Share how this transmission has touched your heart. And respond to others with the same love and compassion that the Arcturian Council has extended to you. This is not merely content. This is a living, breathing, evolving transmission of cosmic love. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. New transmissions are coming. Deeper revelations are unfolding. The Arcturian Council is preparing messages that will continue to guide you toward your divine reunion and your cosmic mission. You do not want to miss what is coming.